Writing this video is one of the hardest things to do. How do I explain to someone else why I love a game so much? We tell experiences from our own memory, but our memories become clouded by other aspects of life, so we can never truly relive those experiences. We can only explain them to other people from the perspective of what we think happened during them. So, I can never truly explain to you why I love Destiny as much as I do. It's been through its ups and downs, its nerfs and buffs, but I've stuck with the game to this day, and I think that I always will. Destiny is my Halo, my Mario Galaxy. I've met so many people through this game, and I don't regret meeting a single one of them. This isn't a review of the game by any means. This is simply a video essay on my experience with the Destiny franchise. Destiny 1 saw release of September 9th, 2014. This was during the age where the next generation for consoles were not the only relevant thing. So it was released on the PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. It was originally met with mixed reception, but I hadn't started playing the game until after its first DLC was released, The Dark Below. I begged and begged my parents for a PS4 with Destiny, and lo and behold, on Christmas of 2014, I got a PS4 with a code to play Destiny. Granted, I had to wait a few days because this was during the era where the PlayStation servers would get hacked every Christmas, so I wasn't able to play right away, so I was stuck with whatever else I had that didn't require the servers. But eventually, I was able to enter my code and download Destiny, and then 5 years of my life were gone in an instant. And now I sit before this microphone talking about my experience that led me to this exact moment. It was also the time that I had experienced paying to play online, which even back then as a 12-year-old I knew it wasn't necessary at all. I mean, I could play Minecraft online for free, so why couldn't I do the same in Destiny? But that's a topic for another day. So I did whatever other content it had to offer, and it wasn't a lot. And then I kind of left the game for a bit until March of 2015, when my friend Nate got PS Plus. So I convinced my dad to let me get PS Plus, and then we got our friend Charlie to convince his dad to let him get PS Plus, and then the Destiny trio was established: Nate, Noah, and Charlie. We'd get on and play every day, doing strikes and Crucible and whatever content that we could get our hands on. Eventually, we had brought some more people onto our Destiny group, and we had our Destiny group/raid team. Every Tuesday was raid day. Get home from school, get on Destiny, start up the raids, go through them until we got to a chest in the raid, open them on every character, finish the raid, move on to the next one, and then repeat that process the next week when the loot resets. It was some of the most fun that I had in gaming. Even though we always got mad at the game for not giving us the loot we wanted, we always came back. It was always the same process: get home from school, get on Destiny, and then play until we had to go to bed. Then repeat the process the very next day. Then of course, on May 19th, the House of Wolves DLC released. I don't remember the day all too well, but I do remember going up to Charlie when I got into class and telling him, "It's hype." And I quote, "We got home from school that day and we played all the new content. Every week continued as normal. We'd do all the raids, then they added the Prison of Elders, so we added that into the process. We continued this process until September of 2015. The script I have divided into sections, like you would when you're writing an essay. I have my introductory paragraph, and then I have my first body paragraph, if you will. And The Dark Below and the House of Wolves both fit into that first body, but this DLC requires its own section. I need to pause the flow for just a moment to get you prepped because it's nostalgia time. The Taken King DLC released on September 15th, 2015, and is widely regarded as the turning point for Destiny 1. It brought in an actual engaging story, it brought the character to the Vanguard NPCs, and gave Eris Morn a little more time to shine, and gave her a little more character. It truly introduced Cayde 6 into everyone's lives, and it had an actual intimidating villain. It brought with it lore that tied directly into the actions that you were committing while you played. After fighting Oryx, he only becomes more powerful so that you can go and fight him in the raid. After this, you are left to play the strikes to get you prepared for this new raid, fighting off Oryx's minions that also pose a threat to us. Then after all that is done, you go and fight the big man himself. I'm not doing the greatest job at explaining this. My name is Bife is the real guy that you should go to if you're wanting a lore explanation. But the Taken King brought some of my favorite memories of all time playing Destiny. The King's Fall raid is one of the best Destiny raids of all time in my opinion. Our group always had our arguments and our ups and downs, but we always came back to play Destiny. Playing the raids, nightfalls, whatever we could do in the game, we would do it. Unfortunately, it didn't all last. Our group started to drift apart, and with no one else to play with, what was really the point in playing Destiny anymore? I played it every so often, but not as often as I used to. We all just sort of stopped playing the game, and even after the new DLC came out, we didn't really care at that point. And I heavily regret it because I wish that we were still playing the game at that point. However, not all hope was lost. On March 28, 2017, Bungie released the Last Call trailer for Destiny 2. As soon as I saw this, my interest in Destiny was back again. I was ready to get back into the grind, and the fact that it was releasing on PC was an even better reason for me to hop back on the grind and start playing the game again. The gameplay trailer came out and I was still excited. I somehow was able to sneakily watch it on my phone during class the whole time and didn't get caught. I was that committed to seeing it. Then, freshman year of high school came and I met one of my good friends, Andrew, who I also learned played Destiny and was also very hyped for Destiny 2. We started to play together and the game finally released on September 6th, 2017. The game originally released with pretty good reviews, and originally I loved the game, which was really my nostalgia and hype talking. If you sat there and really looked at the base game of Destiny 2, there wasn't much to it. It became a lot more casual and there was barely any endgame to it. I was kinda disappointed with the game, but I still decided to stick with it. I had faith in Bungie, I had faith in Destiny. However, my faith began to dwindle after its next DLC was released, Curse of Osiris. Curse of Osiris was a watered down, bland, short, and insulting DLC. It ruined one of the great mysterious legends of the Destiny universe, but most importantly, it barely added anything into the endgame. It had a campaign, a few new guns to get, and a raid layer, which is not a raid, but rather a mini raid, sort of like a dungeon. This was all the DLC had to offer, and I was quite frankly bored of it. And I was sick and tired of Bungie not listening to the community while we were calling out to them. It felt like we were being ghosted. So at this point, I started to lose hope for Destiny 2, and took a 3-month break from the game, honestly thinking that I probably wouldn't come back. However, Destiny 2 brought a new DLC to the table. Warmind would finally be the game beginning to turn around. It brought a short campaign and another raid layer, but it added more weapons and a new activity called Escalation Protocol, which was a horde-like mode where you would fight the Hive until a boss spawned, and once you killed the boss, you would move on to the next round. So you got to round 7, where you would fight one big boss and then a chest would spawn that could give you an exclusive Escalation Protocol armor piece. The boss would also have a chance of dropping one of the Escalation Protocol weapons, which would rotate in the loot pool every week. The bosses also rotated every week, so each week when the DLC first came out, you would experience a different boss. It also brought back the Sleeper Simulant, and while that was broken for a good while, it was a long quest to get it. Not a bad quest, but just long. It also brought a new exotic, Polaris Lance, and brought back, in a new way, an old weapon from Destiny 1, the Black Hammer. The weapon in Destiny 2 was called Whisper of the Worm. While it's not as great as it once was now, the quest to get it was what made it special. The quest was a specific mission on Io where you had to go through these rooms, figure out the layout and where to go, get to the 3 bosses and kill them all within the set time frame it gives you, and if you don't do that in the set time frame, you will be sent back to orbit and you have to try again. It's such a challenging mission, which is what makes it amazing. Destiny needs more challenging activities like this. Warmind is what really started to turn Destiny 2 around. Now, Forsaken is what really got my love for Destiny back. It added 2 new locations, a shit ton of new weapons to find. The Dreaming City is one of the coolest looking locations in all of Destiny, and that was really fun to explore. It had its own story as the game went on after the first raid team beat the raid for that DLC. Forsaken was the turning point for Destiny 2. It is what completely changed the game, making it amazing, but it also completely separated itself from Destiny 1. Forsaken is what changed everything, and is honestly the reason that I'm sitting here talking about Destiny in the first place. If I just had my stories about Destiny 1, this video would probably never get released. There's too much to talk about in the DLC to the point where I can't talk about it all. Almost everything about Forsaken is great. Now, I could go on and talk about Shadowkeep and such, but this isn't a review. Like I said, this was just my experience with my love and passion for the game. I was laying down the ups and downs I had with these games and why specifically I had them. I love Destiny 2 now, and I think that the future for the game looks bright. There's a new 6-man activity, which is honestly really fun. The new season is a real improvement over the last one, so hopefully they can keep this momentum going. and keep Destiny 2 a great game, but it'll never be the same as when I played Destiny 1. That game will always have a special place in my heart as the game that had a great impact on my life that led me to where I am today. I have so many great experiences and memories in that game that could never be replicated in Destiny 2. I'll never forget Destiny 1, but I'm excited to see what Destiny 2 will bring in the future. But thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.